Welcome, brothers. In this video, you will see how loneliness is affecting women, with many trying to sell the idea that single women are the happiest. However, in this video, we will show you the harsh and raw reality. But before we continue, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, leave us a comment. Brothers, we are now on TikTok, so feel free to check it out. The link is in the description. Without further ado, let's begin.
If you're single and feeling lonely because all your friends are in relationships or married, I want you to actually just sit with the emotion of loneliness instead of running away from it just for a few minutes. Because how often have you actually sat with the emotion of loneliness without distracting yourself by scrolling through social media, or watching Netflix, or texting a friend, or just going to the gym, literally just sitting in it, not trying to resist it and feel better automatically. Loneliness is a very uncomfortable emotion, especially when you feel like everybody else around you in your circle is not lonely because they have a partner. But emotions are messengers, and they're also meant to be felt. So if you push down the emotion, it's just going to pop back up like a damn whack-a-mole. So instead of pushing it down, lay down, put your hand over your heart, and just feel it. Let the emotion rise up. Tell yourself, I'm feeling lonely. Feeling lonely, and this sucks. Be really honest with yourself and sit there at least for a few minutes, and then allow yourself to get up and move forward.
Brothers, why do the majority of these messages not align with the reality of the problem? You see these women preaching about finding inner peace, working on oneself, and waiting for the man you deserve. However, all we see is that they are lonelier than the noonday sun on a cloudless day. Why don't they say, go out with the average guy, lower your standards, stop chasing the top 20% of men, quit dismissing men for trivial things like height, stop thinking you're the last Coca-Cola in the desert, learn to be feminine, and go on coffee dates with no expectations, just to get to know the man? You don't hear them say that because, for women, that's seen as settling for the minimum. They want a man who is already built, or they only have to bring their presence. Many buy into this message, end up alone by 30, and you know what they encounter at that age? The wall, because the wall doesn't forgive. Yet, we still hear that single women are the happiest in the world. But I want you to see what a single woman does in her day in the next video.
Maybe the reason we've been able to identify male loneliness is because we haven't been able to identify female loneliness. Because the only time that a woman does not have to perform is when she is alone. So instead, we have these romanticized versions of this female depression because a woman would rather be depressed than observed. But we don't identify this as a female depression because women only know that version of themselves when they are alone, because they're isolated. But because they are alone and not performing, they think that is the most true version of themselves. And if we do know this subconsciously, that we're experiencing this depression because of our isolation, because we don't want to perform, we realize we would rather be depressed than fulfilled, because in order to be fulfilled, we will have to be observed. But we also know we will not be able to be fulfilled as long as we are observed. Girl philosophy. Help.
Brother, what this woman is saying is that the reason men realize their loneliness is that women are constantly preoccupied with men. They all talk negatively about men to boost their egos. Another thing is, as you saw with the first girl, they always wear makeup to conceal their depression because, brothers, women are the #1 consumers of antidepressants and the #1 in seeking therapy. This same woman is one who attacks men for dating younger women when they have money, all because she knows so much about men as she is always focused on them. Another thing that has been observed in recent years is the increasing number of households with pets, be it dogs or cats. During this time, more people have these animals, especially women with their cats. They have replaced motherhood with caring for a cat. That's why you see them sad after the age of 30. Their primitive instincts, their biological clock, urging them to become mothers. That's why they take so many antidepressants after 30, because the pain of not having a family becomes a heavy burden, especially when you know you're facing a wall that, no matter how much you complain or get angry, you can't move.
There's nothing a man should fear more than a woman who's comfortable being alone. You are now competing with me. You're not competing with other guys. I am good being alone. I am fine. So you have to be better than me. You have to make it so that I want to be with you instead of being with me. How are you going to do that?
Maybe this is too niche. Maybe it's not. I don't think it is. But it's a beautiful day outside today. It's literally 70 degrees. It should not be 70 degrees in February where I live, but that's another video. But it's beautiful outside today. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat my lunch. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to sit before my next class. It's going to be good. I get outside and I look around and I realize I am quite literally the only person sitting by myself. It just made me so sad. Sad to the point where I got up and I literally went inside and I felt like I couldn't enjoy the stunning day that it was today, because I was like, I'm so fucking sick of doing stuff by myself. And I don't really feel lonely except in instances like this. And I think this is why my anxiety and my depression actually is worse during the summer, because I find that during the summer, for whatever reason, I'm always by myself. I have friends. Don't get me wrong, my friends are incredible. I love my friends. They're like my sisters, but they have lives. And I feel like I don't. Anytime you see me out, 90% of the time, I am by myself. I go to the store by myself. I walk to class by myself. I sit by myself. I'm always alone. And it never bothers me really until it slaps me in the face that oh shit, everyone else is with somebody. Be it platonically, romantically, whatever. And I'm by myself. Sitting outside today, that was a perfect encapsulation of my entire life. Everyone was sitting with someone and I was literally the only person sitting alone. And in that moment, it just made me so fucking depressed. It made me so sad. And I've had the same friend since high school. And obviously we were in high school, we saw each other every day. And I texted my friends and I was like, you guys, I miss seeing you guys every day so bad. And every time a beautiful day comes around, I'm like, I wish I had someone to go on a walk with. I wish I had friends that I saw more often. I wish I had a boyfriend so fucking bad, you guys. I don't know, but it made me really upset, and I literally got up and I went inside because I was like, this is so fucking embarrassing. So anyway, I don't know if you relate. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I hope you don't, because honestly, this feeling is really fucking depressing.
Brothers, the girl who says that men have to compete with her is one of those women who bought into the idea that she has to become the man she would like to marry. What happens when a man sees a woman like this? He backs away. It's a problem. He knows that this woman will be difficult to handle, that she will be dominant, that she will live in constant competition. Men are avoiding chaos in their lives. Many women are being affected by this radical feminism, messing up the love lives of many women who see that they're never chosen by a man. They end up alone. Look at this girl. She wants to go out, be with her partner, do couple things, but she's alone. As I said before, you can have the biggest house, travel, go shopping, do all these things, but when you do them, you're always alone. It's boring. She went outside. What did she notice first? Every woman there had her man by her side, and she was just there, breathing, seeing that it's only her and her shadow. Brothers, this is what happens as you approach 30, because it gets worse.
Has been on my mind a lot recently, because I've realized that every single girl I know in my life, every woman in her 20s that I know, has been feeling lonely lately for some reason. And the reasons are all different, whether they moved somewhere new and they feel like they have no friends there, or they got into a relationship, or they got out of a relationship, or they're single and they haven't found their person yet, or they just had a baby and they feel lonely as a new mom, or they can't get pregnant and they feel like their friends are all moving on to a new stage of life and da-da-da-da-da. There are a million different reasons why you could feel loneliness. I think it's especially more prominent in your 20s and especially in your like mid-20s, because that's really when you start trying to figure out like, who am I? What am I doing? What do I believe in? Who do I want to be? What is my future? And those can all be very overwhelming thoughts. And then when you add in these other elements of like being in a different stage of life than your friends, or again, not feeling like you have super close connections in your life or something like that, or if you have a strained family relationship, anything, it can all just add to so much stress and anxiety and overwhelm. And really the only reason I'm making this video is to like say that you are not alone at all if you're feeling like this. And I don't think there's necessarily a solution, but I just think it's like helpful to know that so many other girls and other women around you are feeling the exact same way. Even these girls that you see on social media and you think they're thriving and their lives look amazing and perfect and it looks like they have so many friends, I promise you they probably also feel very lonely in some aspect of their life. And I think that it's almost like very empowering and beautiful to imagine that we all are struggling with like loneliness in some way. It just makes us all feel more connected and like more human, you know?
Brothers, a woman between 18 and 25 feels like she can conquer the world, believes she's in her prime because many men are pursuing her. But when she hits 26 and hasn't seized a beta provider, things start to get a bit ugly because she has to move fast. The wall is coming for her. This is when you see them getting depressed because they start feeling the passage of time, sensing the weight of age. Brothers, unlike men who start their best years after 28, able to choose who to build their life with, women nowadays see their single years. Even the Chad, a man who brings nothing to the table but his seed, can't keep up with all of them. It's not that there are no men, there are plenty, but they are tired of the treatment from modern women. They are tired of being demonized by feminists, tired of being an ATM, tired of being relegated to the friend zone, watching Chad finish the job while they provide comfort. That's why you see so many lonely women. But this is more evident in the West because women in the Pacific are taught to be good wives. You don't see as many of them in their 30s facing these issues because they know how to treat a man, invest in a man's future. They aren't waiting at the finish line for winners. Instead, they choose to build with a man. But I want you to watch this compilation of women hitting the wall, read the messages they post, and judge for yourselves if they are truly happy. I can't help but laugh. So, looking at all of this, at what point did I miss the idea that women are the happiest in the world? Here, we've seen it all, from the divorced woman who couldn't take care of her marriage, a significant cause since 80% of divorces are initiated by women, many deceived into thinking the grass is always greener. We see another who can't find a relationship, others who claim men don't want them because of their age, but they all have one thing in common. They've hit the wall, and the wall doesn't forgive. Brother, work on yourself, focus on improving yourself, buy your house, travel. Outside, there's a world of women wanting to meet a hardworking man of value like you. Despite what she says about men being bad, every time a man leaves the country, he manages to marry someone who loves him, and they don't. So work on yourself because there's always a young girl waiting for a man like you to offer her a good life. Let the wall continue collecting victims because, as I always say, the wall doesn't forgive. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think is the reason why women are single? What is your opinion on the loneliness of modern women today? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.